Hey everyone, Emerson here with the Westfield Church of Christ. First things first. We use that expression to mean that some things come before others because they're more important. Maybe in a difficult conversation, you handle the hard stuff before the easier things. Or maybe just planning out your day, you schedule to do the more important things before the others because you want to make sure that they're done. But when it comes to life, what's first? And how do you decide? How do you sort through all the responsibilities you have to make sure that you're doing what is most important? Well, Jesus gives us some perspective in Matthew chapter 6, verse 33. But seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be provided for you. In the context, Jesus is telling us not to worry about our life, what you're going to wear, where you're going to live, what you're going to eat, because God's going to care for us. Don't misunderstand Jesus. He's not saying that those things are unimportant. Your Father knows you need these things, Jesus says. But while our job, while our health, while our family, while our livelihood is important, they're not first. What is first is seeking God's kingdom and his righteousness. What does that mean? It means trusting in God as your king and submitting your will and your life to what he says is right. This is what Jesus calls storing up treasures in heaven. Matthew 6, verse 19. He says, "Don't store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy and where thieves break in and steal, but store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves don't break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." Another thing we need to understand about putting God first is that it's not going to be easy, and it's going to completely change the way that we live. For example, when you put God first, some things will begin to take a backseat. Some things will be last. It may be your job. It may be a hobby or a planned vacation or a sinful habit. It may be something that you have to give up entirely because you've made it, that's what my life is all about. Putting God first means sacrificing those things. On the other hand, putting God first sometimes means bumping things up in our lives. Things might become more important to us because we love God. Praying to God, studying his word to know his will, serving our family, serving our neighbors, all of those become more important to us when we love God more. But the one thing we need to understand is that putting God first means putting God first and him only. There is no rival in our hearts. There is no competition when it comes to God. God and God alone is first in our lives. Even the things that we love more because we love God, take a back seat to who God is and serving him. In Matthew chapter 10, verse 37, Jesus puts it this way: "The one who loves a father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. The one who loves a son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me." Surely those family relationships are important, but they're not first. Only God is. And you know what? All of us have a first in our lives. All of us have something that we put above every single other thing in our lives. What's yours? What's your first? Take some time to consider that today and ask yourself, what is most important to me right now in my life? I'll see you next time